podcast. I'm Val, a financial planner.
And I'm Sherry, a financial coach. And today we are getting back to asking the question, am I the asshole? Thanks to Reddit. So the one we have today is pretty interesting. And I would probably, we'll get into that. So
Okay.
The heading is, am I the asshole for refusing to financially support my brother's wedding after he said my wife wasn't welcome? Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so we've got some more details.
Okay.
I, 32 male, have a younger brother, 28 male, who's getting married in a few months. We've always been close, but ever since I got married to my wife, 30 female, 2 years ago, there's been tension. My brother says my wife is too opinionated, and these are in air quotes, too opinionated and causes drama because she called him out once for a sexist comment. He's held a grudge ever since. Here's the issue. My brother asked me to help pay for his wedding, which I agreed to, but he recently told me my wife wasn't invited because he wants a, again, air quotes, drama-free day. I told him that if my wife wasn't welcome, then neither is my money. To give a little more background, I'm currently quite well off. My brother decided to get back into education to study for his PhD. When I was studying my PhD, my brother financially supported me and gave me a place to stay. Our parents are furious for me for, again, air quotes, ruining his day, and say I'm punishing him financially over a personal disagreement. My wife is upset but supportive, and now I'm torn because I don't want to be the reason my brother's wedding is a disaster. Am I the asshole for not supporting my brother financially after he's banned my wife from attending?
Ooh, this is a dynamic one because I feel in life those are two big pulls, your spouse and your family. And as you experience with Jason's family, getting along with family and the spouse is supreme. It's amazing. So in this situation, oh my gosh. Initially, I'm like, no, you're not an asshole for not giving your money to your brother's wedding where your spouse isn't invited. What was your initial thought when you read that?
Okay, first I want to hear what's your butt? I hear butt in there.
Because him and his brother are close. The sexist comment, I don't like that. It sounds like his brother is maybe holding a grudge. Like, there needs to be more of a conversation between his brother and his wife. Like, it just sounds very high school to hold this so tightly.
Yeah.
I think that's my butt. My butt is, I'm like, are those the only two options? And it's very dramatic, ruin his day, financially punish him, and to expect siblings help. I've never heard of that with any client situations. It's typically been parents' gifts, but I wouldn't expect my siblings to financially support my wedding. Period.
And it sounds like there's the dynamic there that the financial support has gone the other way before, but I'm like, no, you are not the asshole. If your spouse is not invited to a wedding, which is essentially like a big party, your spouse isn't invited to the party, then why would you financially support it? And I also I read a little deeper into it too. Is so sexist comment, that makes me think on a deeper level, is your brother just a really big asshole and your wife has been the first one to say hey,
call him out.
I think you're an asshole, and that just burns the brother's ass because he's like, I'm not having that at my wedding. It's so maybe just stop being an asshole there, brother.
Yeah. I also see that as spoiled little brother. Mom and dad are defending him. I wouldn't want to see this as something where now this brother gets exiled but then that's on his family, and that's a show of their character. So I think I'm just trying to keep the peace too much. No, he's not the asshole. He's not the asshole. He should not be giving his money. If his wife were invited, different situation. But yeah, to your point, it's a big fun party. Family's invited, but not her. But we do want your money.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very interesting, and there's obviously a lot more deeper stuff going on. It's have the wife and brother and the spouse tried to reconcile and have conversations, and they've been married for 2 years. So was this falling out recent? Was it even before they got married and she officially joined the family? There's a lot going on there. And I think when you think about family and money, it's always hard.
Always.
And when there's that, he supported me when I was doing my education. But honestly, what would what would the wife do at the wedding that's going to ruin the party unless you have plans to like really parade your assholeness around
Yeah.
to your guests or during your speech or something like that? Like, what could she possibly do?
Yeah. Like
Even though even though there's a difference of opinion on
it
things, it seems dramatic to not invite the wife.
it just feels like he has a big hate on for her, and regardless of what, like, she could just show up and be a normal guest, he would still, like, it would ruin his day if she were there.
Yeah.
But spend the money on a freaking mediator and figure it out.
Therapy.
Yes.
Therapy is money well spent. Hey, brother,
Yes.
I want to have your wife at my wedding, but I think we should go to like family therapy first and talk
Yes.
this through.
Yes, because if not, this is one of those roots that runs for decades potentially, which you
Yep.
don't want. Like, cut it off now, heal it.
Yep. Yep. Or is like, are there going to be such deep differences of opinion in life and beliefs? Is it somebody that it's better to just be like, you know what, I love my family and I do love my brother, but he's got very different values and beliefs, and how he treats my wife is a deal breaker. And have a great wedding, bro, and nice knowing you. And here's the things that I need from you to reconcile in 2 weeks or 2 years or 20 years. And maybe those times don't come. And yeah, also segue, weddings.
Oh.
Kind of like, okay,
Yes.
to say
yes.
waste of money is extremely harsh. I had a wedding, I spent money, we had a big party, there was lots of booze. It was a priority for me to have an open bar, so it wasn't like a financial commitment to anybody.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But we did it on the lower end, and what I see, weddings just continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger in the financial expectation. So it's also, brother, what kind of wedding are you planning? Are you planning one that's going to be hundreds of thousands of dollars and it's a huge financial commitment and you want to have 100 of your closest friends? And like, can that be adjusted?
Giving someone a place to stay is a different financial commitment potentially than giving them cold hard cash, I'll say.
Yeah.
And weddings, oh my gosh, let's do an episode on weddings, because I am in the sandwich week of between two weddings. The last one was a backyard wedding style, beautiful, and I think very, what's the word that I want? Magical,
subdued?
But also like sensible. And then I'm going away to like an all-inclusive venue. So just like two very different experiences. And I have clients that are doing similar things, right? One of them is like, I'm hosting this in my backyard. I want to keep it as cheap as possible. The other one is like, sky's the limit to some degree. Parent gifts are making a big difference. I had a client last year spend $80,000 on a wedding.
Yowza. And like,
but it wasn't their money.
Yeah, and it's different when it's not your money, but could that gift be used for something else? Or is the gift the requirement that it's spent on a wedding? I think, okay, so to be clear, we got married a long time ago.
2 to 3 years ago.
We're coming up on 17 years. Like,
woohoo!
So obviously inflation, things like that. But if I recall, I think we spent in total about $17,000 all in venue, church, dress, cake, food. Oh, the food was so good, but it was just this little mom and pop like caterer and came to do it family style. It was just really like something your mother would make for a big family dinner. And the priority was we want everybody to have a good time. So we intentionally booked a venue where we could bring our own booze in, and that allowed us to do that, because otherwise doing it at a hotel or something like that where you have to pay per drink, that wasn't happening. You do what aligns with you and just have to think. Like, if somebody's giving you a gift and you're going all out on your wedding, that's one thing. But like taking on debt for a wedding, like, we've had conversations before about good debt and bad debt. And I definitely think debt for a wedding is like, don't come at me. This is just my belief. Like, debt for a wedding is bad debt. Like, you're just starting off a relationship. You can do it for a variety of different price points. And when you do it for $60,000, $80,000, $100,000 or more, and like a chunk of that is debt, then that's stepping into your new married life with a big financial weight on your shoulders.
So, okay, so you spent $17,000. How much do you think you made or got gifted?
Oh, I don't know. It wasn't a lot. Like maybe between 3,000 and 5,000. It wasn't a lot. And I think that would have included like the buck and doe as well. And we did have some help from each of our parents, but predominantly it was us. And those were the times when I wasn't as tuned into our finances, and I have no idea where that money came from. I know we didn't end up with huge debt. I just must have started squirreling it away. And when you're planning a wedding, it comes little pieces at a time, right? You buy the dress before, and you pay the deposits before, and then the day before you're paying for the booze, and you pay so it comes at different times. You're not just paying it all at once. So I was able to just figure out how to make it work. And again, no idea how, but
it's very interesting, though. Your intention was to give guests have a good time, and you have no regrets on that dollar amount spent. Where I've talked to clients, typically in later years, they're like, if I were to do it again, I would have never done it that way. Like, they did this big kind of show with 400, 300 of their closest friends.
Yep.
And they're like, would never do it again that way. So anyways, we can go into weddings in a different episode, but that guy is not the asshole.
Yeah. And that's the general consensus on Reddit in the comments too. Like, the first comment, like, your brother wants your cash, but not your wife. Like, if he can't handle family dynamics, he shouldn't be planning a wedding. Stay firm. The general consensus in the comments is like, your brother is treating you poorly for a minor disagreement. He's being petty, not the asshole. So yeah, general consensus agrees with us, not the asshole. And yeah, red flags, maybe run.
Red flags. Yes.
Yeah. Definitely wedding planning is, it's something we could definitely chat about, because and I think each year that goes on, the price range that you can spend gets wider and wider and wider. Like, backyard wedding with like 30 people, friends and family, to like giant hall. And then the bachelorette parties and the like engagement parties, like those have really escalated too. Like, I'm sure
I should actually tally up what I spent on as being a bridesmaid this year.
Yeah. Ooh, I'd be very interested to know that, because I'm a nosy fucker.
I will absolutely share that. And the bride is the most organized, amazing bride ever. And she was like, I know I spent less than $200 on my dress. She was like, it's a very reasonable site, but still, it's an added thing. But that's a commitment you make when, of course, you have the honor of saying yes. So, anyways.
General consensus, not the asshole. Family and money, try not to mix them unless you absolutely have to. And just know that it's okay to have your boundaries and your reasons. And I think this is a very good reason to have a solid boundary. And we wish you good luck, Mr. Not the Asshole.
Yes.
We hope you have a great day, and we'll see you next time on the Mind and Money podcast.